Okay, so good morning everyone. So this is another video for food and beverage services, operations and management. So we are now at chapter 3, which we're going to talk about service areas and equipment. So in your module, you can see there design and purchasing factors of the equipment that you are going to use inside the kitchen or the restaurant. So we have here the considerations that we have to refer, or the factors that we have to refer to. We have the type of clientele expected, the site or location of your establishment, the layout of the food and beverage service area, the types of service offered, and the funds available that you have, the money. So first is you need to consider the types of market that you're going to offer your products with. And the second one is you need to look into the location if it is viable for business. Then number 3 is the layout of your service area, if it's big, if it's small, or medium. And the type of service that you're going to offer. Is it waiter service? Is it a self-service? Or buffet style? And then the funds available that you are going to use, the money of course that you're going to use when you are going to buy or purchase the equipment that you are going to use, as well as design the layout sa inyong kitchen or restaurant area. Then you also have general points to be considered when purchasing equipment for the F&B service area. So flexibility of use. Okay, the second one that you're going to consider is the type of service being offered, or the type of service that you are going to offer to your customers, the type of your customer, the design, and then the color and durability of the equipment that you're going to purchase, and then the ease of maintenance, and then stockability, cost and funds available of course, and then availability in the future if, for example, maguba ang inyong equipment. So are there spare parts available for the repair of that specific equipment, and then replacements, and then the storage, kung sa kadako ang storage nimo, you need to consider that as well. And then the rate of breakage, let's say for example the crockeries that you have, the things that you're going to use when cooking, and then the shape of your equipment, psychological effects on customers, as well as delivery time. All of this shall matter when choosing or purchasing the equipment in your future businesses, your restaurant or kitchen. Okay, so we have the so-called front of the house and back of the house. I'm going to introduce you these two terms, which are very common sa food and beverage service operation. So you have the front of the house service areas are some of the busiest of a food service establishment, especially during the service periods. It is therefore important that these areas are well designed for operational purposes, and that department heads ensure that all members of staff know exactly what their duties are and how to carry them out efficiently and effectively. From the term itself, front of the house, it means atubangan, front line. So that means the first area that will be seen by the customers pag sulod nila sa hotel. So you need to, if you are future managers in the F&B service, you need to understand how to plan ahead the layout and design of your front of the house, so that the area will be easily accessible to the customers. Other than that, nindot ang plano or pagkabuhat sa area. And then the second term is the back of the house, meaning likod, or areas nga dili diretso makita sa guest or tago. So these areas include the still room, hot plate or the pass area, and the wash up. The back of the house service areas are usually between the kitchen and the F&B service or front of the house areas. They're important parts of the design of a food service operation, acting as the link between the kitchen or food preparation areas and the restaurant or the F&B service areas. There are also meeting points for staff of various departments as they carry out their duties, and therefore there must be close liaison between these various members of staff and the departments. So you need to consider also the design of the back of the house because darhin na to makitaan ang areas for food preparation, beverage preparation, no, but there are some cases nga beverage is a bar, but then mostly ang food lang makita nato here, and then the hot plate or the pass area, no, pagpasa sa pagkaon. I will show you that later on, no, some of the videos that will tell you or share with you an idea, no, on what still room, the pass area, and the wash up areas looks like. The wash up area, excuse me, is the dishwashing area. I will also show you, no, kung unsa ang process sa dishwashing area sa hotel or inside the kitchen sa hotel because we do not use the manual labor nga job, no, nowadays nga in which ang atong gamiton is magkamutam ang hugas. No, it's not. We are going to use a dishwashing machine or a dishwasher. There's so many terms rather about aning wash up na term, but then the dishwasher is the most common term. So you need to always check, no, the plan or your plan with your engineer and your contractor when it comes to building a business, or when you are a manager, you need to always consider unsay positioning and arrangement sa back of the house. Okay, so we have the first term, which is the still room. So the still room provides items of F&B required for the service of a meal that are not catered for by the other major departments in food service operations, such as the kitchen, larder, and pastry. The duties performed in this service area will vary according to the type of meals offered and the size of establishment concerned. So when it comes to the staffing, so the person in charge, no, is responsible for the compilation of work rotas for all still room staff so that all duties are covered and the area is staffed throughout the whole of the service periods. The still room supervisor is also responsible for the ordering of supplies from the main dry goods store and the effective control of these items when issued to the various departments. Because of the number of hours the still room has to remain open and to ensure it is run efficiently, staff may work on a shift basis. So I will give you a video on this about still room so that you will get an idea on say dagway diyan ng still room, no, or the food and beverage preparation area. So you will get a gist of what it looks like kung kamo na pud ang trabaho. You will get a taste, no, of working inside a hotel. Okay, so there are various equipments or items that we can see in the still room. One is refrigerator. Second is hot and cold beverage making facilities. We have the large double sink and draining board for washing up purposes. We have a dishwasher suitable for still room but large enough to ensure efficient turnover of equipment. And then the salamander, a toaster, bread slicing machine. We have the worktop and cutting board, storage space for small equipment such as crockery, glassware, and cutlery, and tableware. And then we also have storage covered for all dry goods held in stock and for such paper items such as doilies, kitchen papers, napkins, etc. We have the coffee grinding machine and then the ice maker. So those are some of the equipments inside the still room. So control or two main ways of controlling the goods to be issued from the still room. So if a food service area requires items such as butter, sugar, preserves, etc. in bulk, a requisition signed by supervisor is required before the still room will issue the items to the specific chef or cook or sous chef. No, upon receipt, the waiters check tea, coffee, or any other beverage required, and necessary portions will be dispensed. If there are some cases na ang waiter mag-send og room service, no, or mag-perform og room service rather, kinahanglan pa niya og permission from the supervisor before magawas na ng gamit from the still plate. Okay? Okay, going into the hot plate, which is the second term for the food service areas and equipment. So the hot plate or the pass area is the meeting point between the service staff and the food preparation staff. So from the still plate, no, mupasay siya padulong sa pass area or the hot plate. So still plate, hot plate. So that means after the food preparation and then the cooking and the plating, you're now going to serve the food, passing it sa hot plate. So active cooperation and good relationship between the members of staff of these two areas help to ensure that the customer receives an efficient and quick service of the meal. So the hot plate itself should be stocked with all the crockery necessary for the service of a meal. This may include some of the following items. Okay. So you have here the soup plate, fish plate, joint plate, sweet plates for your dessert, consomme cups, platters, and soup cups. So the food plats and serving dishes required for service are often placed on the top of the hot plate and used as required. The hot plate is usually gas or electrically operated and should be lit, switched on well in advance of the service to ensure all the necessary crockery and silver is sufficiently heated before the service commences. So if you have noticed yung operation sa Jollibee, if you have noticed from the steel plate, which is the back of the kitchen, no, or back of the house rather, you can see there na sila gitawag na to display area, which is the so-called the hot plate. So in there, there's the lighting that provides the heat, no, para ang pagkaon nimo is init pag serve. That's why if you have noticed, init always ang pagkaon sa Jollibee because as protocol demands sa ilahan, no, there's specific time in which they're going to also remove all the food after some minutes nga dili pa siya mabaligya. So there is a series of control system or quality control system in which i-prevent niya ang spread sa food contamination, no. So therefore kinahanglan agad siya hot plate and it is always maintained hot, no, with the proper lighting being switched on so that makip niya ang freshness sa pagkaon as well as sa katong butanganan niya no malimpyo. So you have here the personnel under the hot plate. We have the abayur or the barker. The abayur or barker is in charge and controls the hot plate or pass during the service period. As an aid to the food service staff, the abayur will control the board, which tells the waiter immediately of any menu item that is not available or off. So it should be sighted in a prominent position for all to see. So kinahanglan gina-inform na siya before start of operation ang waiter para at least may inform siya unsay available sa menu unsa poy dili. So the abayur will initially receive the food check from the waiter, and written food orders must be legible to the abayur so that there is no delay in calling up a particular dish and who will be preparing the specific food. So you have here the hot plate language and terminology. So we have here English, no, the English language, and another term which involves French. So you have seen in your module, no, the hot plate language and terminology that we are going to run down one by one correctly, no. So therefore I will encourage you to use a translator for this one because we are not really good with French language, but we are going to try. Okay, so examples of traditional kitchen terms. So you have here La service va commencer. So general warning to kitchen that the service is about to commence. So I'll be doing a rundown with traditional kitchen terms in English, and you are going to translate it for me in French. Okay, so we have here samatois covers, indication to the kitchen of the number of covers on the table, in this case 3 covers. And then we have the poissonnier, faites marcher toi sol Veronique, an example of fish section informed of the order required, in this case free sole Veronique. So it's type of a dish which will be presented in 3 cuts or 3 sole Veronique. So that means ang pag-prepare nimo. So please bear with me because we're speaking in French and I am speaking it in English because you are going to translate it for me or speak it in French. So I am going to encourage you to use a French translator for this. So we have here poissonnier is actually fish in French. And then we have the oui. The oui is a reply given by the chef de partie to the order called out by the habilleur. And then we have the bien sonnier, the term called out by the habilleur before the actual order when an extra special order is required. And then we have dépêchez-vous, the words used to hurry up an order, so kinanglan paspasan. And then we have the arities. The arities is the term used to cancel an order. And then we have the foods requiring special degrees of cooking. There are given the following terms: the omelette fausse, or soft inside, or malasado. And then we have the steak grill. We have the blue or rare, which means surface is well browned but inside is raw. And then we have the sainon, underdone. And then a point, medium. And then ben cuit, cooked right through or well done. So if you have noticed, there are so many types of cooking your steak or grilling your steak rather. And these are examples. We have the blue or rare, saignant, a point, and banquet. The banquet. Whatever system is used in all food, service staff should be familiar with specific terms being used in the production area in order to appreciate exactly what is going on at the hot plate in the food production areas to ensure quick and efficient service. So history, we're talking back about history, in which the history of the food and service beverage service started from European countries, and particularly in the French country, or Paris. So you need to understand that we're going to speak in French. Those are some of the French terms that you are going to familiarize when you are going to familiarize hot plate language and terminology. Okay, then going back into the third term, which is the wash up. So the wash up or the dishwashing area must be sited so that the staff can work speedily and efficiently when passing from the food service areas to the kitchens. Servers should stack trays of dirties correctly within the service area with all the correct sized plates together, and tableware stacked on one of the plates with the blades of the knives running under the arches of the forks. So I'll be showing you this also on how to stack all your plates and segregate all of them. And then for the glassware that has not had grease or fat in should be taken to a separate glass wash-up point, often in the bar. So the wash-up service area should be in the first section in the steel room when a waiter enters from the service area. So here all the dirty plates are deposited, stacking them correctly and placing all the tableware in a special wire basket or container in readiness for washing. So the server must place any debris into the bin or bowl provided. All used papers such as napkins, doilies, or kitchen paper should be placed in a separate waste bins to ensure proper recycling. Okay, let's go into dishwashing methods. This is a part of the wash up area. So there are methods also when washing the table appointments available inside the kitchen or the restaurant. So we have first is the manual, in which soiled ware washed by hand or brush machine. And then we have the automatic conveyor, in which the soiled ware loaded in racks mounted on a conveyor by operators for automatic transportation through a dishwashing machine. And then we have the flight conveyor, soiled ware loaded within pegs mounted on a conveyor by operators for automatic transportation through a dishwashing machine. So the same with the automatic conveyor. And then we have the deferred wash, in which the soiled ware collected together, stripped, sorted, and stacked by operators for transportation through a dishwashing machine at a later stage. So the three methods are actually involving a dishwashing machine, in which dili na magamit o kamot in washing. So we are going to use a machine that will clean it up and then heat it or steam it so that it will remove the bacteria or the germs in the table appointments, crockery, silverware, cutleries, whatever table appointments that you are going to wash inside the machine. So I'll be showing you once again a video on this. Do not worry. I will send you a video so that you will become familiarized, or you will be familiarized to the types of the machines being used, and You already know what manual washing is. Let's just remove that, no, sa equation, but then we're going to learn about the dishwashing machine. In your module, you have seen there an automatic conveyor dishwasher with stand for loading the racks at the right of the picture in your module. So you can see there. And then also, we're going to talk about the color and lighting considerations inside sa F&B service operations, which is the restaurant and the kitchen. So the color of the restaurant surroundings can contribute a great deal towards the price-quality relationship in the minds of a potential customers. What may be suitable for a fast food operation would be entirely unsuitable for a restaurant operation, catering, or an executive market. So bright illumination may be found in bars with light colors on the walls, but food service areas are better with dimmer illumination. And warmly colored walls assist give a more relaxed and welcoming atmosphere. The colors should also contribute to a feeling of cleanliness. So the color scheme used in the food service area should help to reflect the character of the operation. So generally regarded as most useful in allowing food presentation to shine includes colors such as pink, peach, pale yellow, light green, beige, blue, and turquoise. So these colors reflect the natural colors found in well-presented foodstuffs. So just a decor and light play an important role. So table accessories need careful choice. So you need to choose sleeve clothes, serviettes, and placemats all help to make environment more attractive and more comfortable for the consumers or the customers. If you have noticed in any expensive restaurants, dili yun na light or siga kaayo or fluorescent lamp lang ginagamit, but then they're using dimmer lights, no, so that it will give a warm and welcoming effect, no, as well as the colors in the kitchen or the restaurant. Kinahanglan jud well chosen siya so that maka-add into the appetizing effect mahatag sa lights or sa colors area ang pagkaon nga na-serve. Okay, and then when it comes to lighting, so a well-designed color scheme can easily be spoiled by a badly planned lighting system, and therefore the two aspects should be considered together at the design stage. So modern design tends towards a versatile system of lighting by which a food and beverage service area may have bright lighting at lunchtime and a more diffuse form of lighting in the evening or a dimmer lighting in the evenings. It's also an advantage to be able to change the coloring of the lighting for special functions, cabarets, etc. So restaurants have many choices available to them, but the three main light sources that we found are low voltage directional downlighters and surface mounted fittings. We have low energy lamps, and we have the LED luminaires. So functional lighting in the dining room must serve a number of purposes. Fixtures directing light into ceilings and walls should indicate to customers the dimensions of the room, together with any special attractions such as pictures and old oak beams. Low voltage diachroic lamps are best suited for this purpose, and the lighting should project a subdued atmosphere with contrast between bright and dark areas and tabletops capturing much of the light, while ceilings and upper walls remain dark. It may be necessary to feature special areas of a dining room such as buffet or self-service salad bar. So you need to choose well also the lighting together with dapat magkuan sila, mag-contrast and then somehow blend in sa colors sa restaurant. So when you have this specific color, you need also to accentuate it with the lighting that you have chosen to make the whole environment or ambience comfortable and welcoming. So the food and beverage service areas needs to have a good mix of decor and functional lighting. And then brighter lights appear to subconsciously tell customers to eat more quickly and leave, and are for recommended way to illuminate for a quick turnover and high volume through pot. So that means we always need to use a dimmer lighting to have that sexy, kumbaga, expensive but also cozy atmosphere, because according to the experts, if suga nimo is light kaysa tanan, you are going to force the customers to eat fast, no, tapos muhawa diretso, whereas ang dimmer na light, it gives them that cozy feel at home nga feel. That's why ganahan sila magstay o dugay pa sa restaurant. Okay? And then going into the bar, which is our favorite part. So the bar may be situated within a food and beverage service area and dispense wine or other alcoholic drinks that are to be served to customer consuming a meal or using a lounge area. However, in many establishments, because of the planning and layout, wine and other alcoholic drinks for consumption with a meal are sometimes obtained from bars situated outside the F&B service area itself. In other words, from one of the public bars. So in here, the equipment, I'm going to send you as well PowerPoint of the tools and equipment that we are going to use or that are usually used sa bar. So we have the main items, which is the cocktail shaker, the Boston shaker. So we have cocktail shaker and Boston shaker, the ideal utensil for mixing ingredients that will not normally blend together well by stirring. And then the Boston shaker contains two cones, one of which overlaps the other to seal in the mix. Made of stainless steel, glass, or plated silver, so the mix is strained using a Hawthorne strainer. And then we have the mixing glass, like a glass jug without a handle but has a lip, so used for mixing clear drinks that should not contain juices or cream. And then we have also the strainer, bar spoon, bar liquidizer or blender, and then the drink mixer. Okay, so there are so many tools, and the tools first, that the bar is usually using. I am going to show you that later on, as well as the equipment. So there are so many equipments and there's so many tools being used sa bar. And then planning the bar, seating area and layout. So when you are going to plan, the major factor is the seating of the bar. The position should be chosen so that the bar achieves the greatest possible number of sales. So the seating should be placed in front sa counter sa bar. And in the area, the bar staff must be given sufficient area or space in which to work and move about, since they're going to perform showmanship through flaring. So there should be a minimum of 1 meter from the back of the bar counter to the storage shelves and display cabinets at the rear of the bar. And then for the layout, very careful consideration must be given in the initial planning to the layout of the bar. So adequate storage must be provided in the form of shelves, cupboards, and racks for all the stock required and equipment listed, especially there are so many mixes of ilimnon. Therefore, you need to plan the layout of the placement of your cabinets or shelves rather, for your drinks. And everything should be easily to hand so that the bar staff do not have to move about more than necessary to provide a quick and efficient service sa customer. We also have plumbing and power, which are essential to have hot and cold running water for glass washing, and power is necessary for the cooling trays, refrigerators, and ice making machines. Safety and hygiene is always a must, so great care must be observed to ensure that the materials used in the makeup of the bar are hygienic and safe. So flooring must be non-slip, and the bar top should be material suited to the general decor that is hard wearing, easily wiped down, and has no sharp edges. So the bar top should be of average working height, approximately 1 meter, and a depth of about 0.6 meter. So dili siya taas kayo, dili pud sobra kaubos. So it should be 1 meter depth, and height niya is 1 meter. Ang iyang kalalumon pod is 0.6 meter. So about 20 inches. You need to also consider that when you're going to plan having your own business of hotel eventually in the future. Okay, going back to the topic on furniture, the next topic that we're going to talk about is furniture. So the furniture must be chosen according to the needs of the establishment or your establishment or the establishment where you are going to work. We have here table 3.2 in your module. We have here dining arrangements, so description of furniture and its types. So we have first here the loose random. It's a freestanding furniture positioned in no discernible pattern within a given service area. And then we have the loose module, freestanding furniture positioned with a given service area to operate determined pattern with or without the use of dividers to create smaller areas within the main area. The difference between the loose random and the loose module is that the loose random is arranged without a pattern compared to the loose module, which has a specific position in a given service area. Now we have the booth, a fixed setting, usually high back, used to create secluded seating. And then we have high density furniture with minimum dimensions and usually fixed, positioned within a given service area to create maximum seating capacity. And we have the module, a seating incorporates tables and chairs constructed as one and may be fixed to the floor. The NC2, customers served in areas not assigned for service, example aircraft and hospital beds. And in bar and lounge areas, customers served in areas not primarily designed for food and beverage service. Now for the materials and finishes being used for the furnitures that you're going to use, there are various types of wood and wood grain finishes that are available and each suitable to blend with a particular decor. So wood is strong and rigid and resists wear and stains, but you need to choose a particular wood to be used as a furniture. It is popular material used for chairs and tables in most food and beverage service areas, but not ideal for canteens and some staff dining rooms and cafeterias. Usually when in this type of food and beverage provider, we have the dining rooms and cafeterias, mostly they are made from metals or stainless steel. So the wood predominates, more metals are gradually being introduced into the dining furniture. Aluminium is lightweight, hard wearing, has a variety of finishes, and easily cleaned, and the costs are reasonable compared to the wood kasi mahal yung wood due to the age and the type of wood that you are going to use as a furniture. Nowadays, a wooden top table with a metal base may be found together with chairs with light metal frames and plastic finishes for the seat and back. So there's possibility ng inyong makita ko ron aside from plastic in expensive restaurants is a combination of wood and metal. We also have formica or plastic coated tabletops may be found in many cafeterias or staff dining rooms. If you have noticed kanang ato ang masahan of bread is an example of formica, or there is also an instance where you can also use a much expensive form to be used for your countertops. So sinks ninyo is either granite, quartz, or marble. And then for your chairs, plastics and fiberglass are now used extensively to produce dining room chairs. So these materials are easily molded into a single piece seat and back fit to the body contours. The legs usually being made of metal. And the advantages are that these are durable, easily cleaned, lightweight, may be stacked, are available in a large range of colors and designs, and are relatively inexpensive. They are more frequently found in bars, lounges, and staff dining rooms in the first class hotel or restaurants. But then, what we are so used during sa atong pagstay here sa eskwelahan, you've noticed nga itong ginagamit is plastic chairs, because plastic chairs are much more cheaper than chairs that are made of wood and a variety or a combination of wood and metal. So the main considerations when purchasing chairs should be the size, height, shape, and even the variety of seating required. For example, the banquet or fixed bench setting, armchairs, straight-backed and padded chairs that give a customer a choice. And then remember when purchasing chairs that the height of the chair must allow enough room for the diner to sit comfortably at the table. So a leather or wool fabric is much better to sit on than PVC or man-made fibers, which tend to become uncomfortable around the back on the seat. Usually, if you noticed, kaning leather nga mga seats, they're not really good to be used in dining rooms or restaurants. Usually ang kasagara gamit nila is somewhat fabric, wood fabric, and then leather. There are types of leather, but usually katong halon nga leather, but kanang PVC are plastic. No, nga type is not used for sitting and it's not really comfortable to sit on. And then we have for the tables, comes in three main shapes. We have the round, square, and rectangular. As an establishment, we have a mixture of shapes to give variety. And then square or rectangular tables will sit 2 to 4 people, and 2 tables may be pushed together to sit larger parties, or extensions may be provided in order to cope with special parties and other events. And then the tabletop, you have a plastic foam back or green base covering which is heat resistant and non-slip to the tablecloth will not slide about as it would on a polished wooden top table. So this type of covering also deadens the sound of crockery and tableware being laid. As a guide, there's a table here, standard size, no, for all the types of tables being used in the restaurant. We have the square, round, and rectangular, as you can see in your module. And then we also have sideboards, but before that, you have 76 centimeters square to sit for 2 people and 1 meter square to sit 4 people. And then for the round, you have 1 meter in diameter to sit 4 people, 1.52 meters in diameter to sit 8 people for the round. And then for rectangular, you have 137 centimeters by 76 centimeters to sit 4 people, and extensions being added for larger events. Then for the sideboards, yung, this is a tool or a tray that is used for to support, no, the tray when you are serving. So style and designs of sideboard or a workstation in our term varies from establishment to establishment and is dependent upon there are so many different styles of workstations, and in your module you can see there an example of a tray jack. So we depend on the style of service and the food and beverages on offer, the number of service staff working from the one sideboard, and the number of tables to be served from one sideboard, and the amount of equipment expected to hold in every sideboard. No? So, if dako kaya ang restaurant, no, well, ang iyang workstation is of course dagosad. There's a possibility also nga pwede makagamit og tray jack, no. Okay, so there is an example here of sideboards, no, or workstations. And then you can see there an example, figure 3.8 in your module. And then going into linens. So the linens are very important because they're the ones covering the table to make it look more presentable. So there are many qualities of linen in presently use, from the finest Irish linen, which are very expensive, going to cotton and synthetic materials such as nylon and viscose. The type of linen used will depend on the class of establishment, the type of clientele, and the cost involved, and the style of menu and service to be offered. If it's a restaurant that is going to offer fine dining, well, of course, ang iyang linen jud is considered to be expensive, no, but semi lang siya. It's much cheaper than the fine dining restaurants. So we have here tablecloths, slip cloths, napkins or serviettes, buffet cloths, waiter cloths, tea and glass cloths, with all their corresponding uses and of course sizes. Okay, and then the use and control of linen or purpose of linen. Linen should be used only for its intended purpose in the restaurant and not for cleaning purposes, as this often results in permanent soiling, which will render the item unusable in the future. They should be stored on paper-lined shelves and the correct sizes together with the inverted fold facing outward, which facilitates counting and control para dili siya maihap. So if the linen is not stored and covered, it should be covered to avoid dust settling on it. No? So the linens should not be considered as trapo because there are some student nga kung say makuptan lang, no, din trapo na dayon. That's not good practice. So when you see a linen, considered linen like tablecloths or table napkins, we should not use it as a pang trapo lang, no? And then We also have here a range of disposable linens, which includes napkins, placemats, and tablecloths. They are available in varying colors and qualities. As what I've said, there are so many types of linens that are much cheaper than those that are being used in expensive or high-end restaurants. So you need to at least learn what are those types and the types of cloths that are being used. Okay. Our next topic will be on crockery. So what is a crockery? So crockery must blend in with the general decor of the establishment and also with the rest of the items on the tables. An establishment generally uses one design and pattern of crockery, but when an establishment has a number of different service areas, it is easier from the control point of view to have a different design in each service area so that matchy-matchy, no? Muna siya may term karon or trend karon. Nowadays, manufacturers produce a range of patterns and styles will guarantee a supply for a period of 10 years in order to be able to replace breakages, etc. So when furnishing crockery, the general points should be borne in mind. So we have here factors to consider. Every item of crockery should be a complete cover of glaze to ensure reasonable length of life. So glaze is basically glass, no? So if you now understand unsang term mga crockery or you're familiar with that term, crockery are those things nga gamiton nimo for food preparation or pagluto. So crockery should have a rolled edge to give added reinforcement at the edge. And then the pattern should be under rather than top of the glaze. However, this demands additional glaze and firing. Patterns on top of the glaze will wear on this color very quickly, and crockery with the pattern under the glaze is more expensive, but its life will be longer. And crockery must be dishwasher proof or dili matangtang ang ihang style dito sa sulod. As you can see, anything nga laglum or can be placed with food, you can consider that as a crockery or those items that can be used for food preparation. So crockery that is produced as being suitable for food service industry is often referred to as hotelware. So manufacturers also tend to give trade names to their hotelware to indicate strength or durability. So examples here, we have here food service crockery. So some of the names of those manufacturers, we have Vitrios, Vitriso, Vitroc, Ironstone, Vitrix, Vitrified, and Steelite. So those are some of the famous names of crockery makers, no, but we are not familiar with it because most of those companies are in abroad. So we have here food service crockeries. There are various classification of food service crockery, and although referred to as crockery here, old glazed tableware was traditionally referred to as china or kaning ginagamit nato for pagkaon, no? So you have here the flatware, for example, plates and saucers and serving flats. You have cups and bowls, for example. So you have tea and coffee cups, soup and sweet bowls and serving dishes. And then your hollowware, which includes pots and vases. So in your module, you can see there the types of crockery. So you have the bone china, hotel earthenware, stoneware, and porcelain. So the bone china, this very fine hard china, is expensive. So decorations are only found under the glaze. So sa dito sa bowl makita, no? Or it's either na sa inside or sa outside. It can be made to thicker specifications if requested for hotel use. The price of bone china puts it out of reach of the majority of everyday caterers, and only a few of the high-end hotels and restaurants use it. So metallized bone china has been developed specially for the hospitality industry, and it contains added metallic oxides that make it much stronger than bone china. So the bone china, from the name itself, it's very expensive because it's made from scratch, gid siya, no? The decoration is also customized depending on the request of the guest or the types of guests that you have in your hotel. And then we have the hotel earthenware. So vitrified earthenware is produced in the UK in vast quantities. It is the cheapest but least durable hotelware, although it's much stronger than regular domestic earthenware. So there's standard range of designs and patterns in varying colors. So earthenware's example are those crockeries made from mud. And then we have stoneware. So natural ceramic material traditionally made in the UK and fired at very high temperature. So it is shaped by traditional handcrafting techniques, so there are a wide variety of shapes and finishes available, from matte to high gloss glaze. It's non-porous and extremely durable with high thermal and shock resistance, and the price is slightly higher than the earthenware because of its long life guarantee. And lastly, we have the porcelain. So this is a different composition with a semi-translucent body, normally cream gray, and has a high resistance to chipping. So usually kaning ginagamit nato here, kaning puti na plato, no, here. If you have noticed, no, I will also show you an example of that one, no. Or kanang nyo makita sa inyong video that I have given you the person carrying plates, no, those examples of porcelain, they are also very expensive. And then we have also crockery sizes. So as you can see there in your module, there are different types of sizes on the varying plates, no, or crockeries. So the crockeries required include consomme cup and saucers. So those table appointments that can be used during food and beverage service operations. So bowl or cup, platter, the salad crescent, your egg cup, butter dish ashtray, and then your teapot, hot water jug, coffee pot, milk jug, grain jug, hot milk jug, sugar basin, salt and pepper pots. So you can see there in figure 3.9, you have here a selection of crockeries for traditional and contemporary. And then for your storage, the crockery should be stored on shelves in piles of approximately 2 dozen para dili mga tipak. No? So any higher may result in their toppling down or damaged plates at the bottom of the stack because of the weight bearing down on them. So always bear that in mind. Crockery should be stored at convenient height for placing on and removing from the shelves without fear of accidents occurring. Possible crockery should be kept covered to prevent dust and germs settling in. So after we have stacked, no, and segregate all the crockeries according to its size, according to its type, and according to the style, we need to cover them with a cloth, no, or anything that will protect it from dust and germs. And then always be reminded to never stock more than 2 dozen, no, sa katong crockeries para dili siya matipak. Okay, so that's it for today's video on food and beverage services, operations and management. So the remaining topics for chapter 3 will be discussed in another video so that you can focus on the topics that I have stated here in this video. So enjoy and learn, and just remember to watch all of the videos that I have given to you for your reference. Have a great day.